Hello everyone, my name is Ricardo Leon and I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager here at Levil Aviation.
And I am Ananda Leon, the software developer for Levil Aviation, and today we're doing a flight demo of our newest innovation called the Levil Joy. It's basically a complete autopilot control in the palm of your hands. It's integrated into a joystick or a grip, and it's for experimental airplanes and light sport and ultralights. And basically, so today it's a beautiful day, but it's a little bumpy.
It is a little bumpy.
And it's actually perfect for demoing the Levil Joy, because the idea came from having something easy and ergonomic and smart to control the trim tab based autopilot that we offer, the iLevil AP. We have an iLevil AP installed here on the RV9, and it's connected to this mini iPad here and this iPad Pro, and all the we have a Vision over here, so it's a wireless based autopilot that you can control from your tablet.
Okay.
But in a bumpy day like this one, it might be a little hard setting like your heading and your altitude. So we designed this autopilot autopilot control integrated into the grip. So what you're seeing here, we have two, one on the pilot, one on the co-pilot. And basically the buttons, the interface that you're seeing here, the bottom one is your push to talk. So this is connected to our radios, and it allows us to talk to the tower. And then the rest of the buttons are specifically to control the autopilot. So we have a heading button, altitude button. Those enable and disable heading control and altitude control. We have the nav button, which basically allows the airplane to follow a flight plan if we have one activated on a compatible app or a Garmin or a compatible flight planning tool. This is my favorite button. It's the level button, no pun intended. It's basically when you click this button, the airplane follows the current heading and the current altitude. So you can do hands off really quick with just pushing this level button, and then the off button on the top. The LED bar that you see in the middle, in my Joy, it's currently flashing because I don't have it connected. We're going to go through how to connect the Joy.
Okay.
But on yours, it will basically indicate the trim. You can, because this is a trim tab based autopilot, you can trim your airplane using the trim tabs. And so that will indicate where is your trim tab.
Now, you mentioned that I can trim, and you gave us a little tour of the front of the Joy, but how do you trim up and down?
So the trim has a little scroll wheel on the back that you can't see on the cameras right now, but this scroll wheel basically allows you to trim up and down whenever we're not using the autopilot functionalities. You can use trim. And the scroll wheel on the back, it's also used to change heading and altitude on the go. So we're going to go through that in a little bit. First, I want to show how to pair your Joy with the iLevil. So if you're the Levil Joy can be connected via wireless. So it's a really smart device. It connects via Wi-Fi to the iLevil. But you can also connect it via serial.
So if I don't want to do Wi-Fi, I can also hardwire to the iLevil.
You can hardwire to the iLevil.
Nice.
So I think yours is hardwire, but mine is, we want to connect it via Wi-Fi to show here how you would do this. You can do this on the ground. You don't have to be flying for this.
Okay.
But for demoing purposes, we're going to do this during flight.
Okay, perfect.
So the first time you connect the Joy, it doesn't know which iLevil SSID to connect to, okay? And it's probably going to show either a red light here, or it's going to be already in pair mode. When it's in pair mode, you know it because the trim LED bar is going to be flashing up and down. If it's not in pair mode, the way to get there is basically to push both heading and altitude button
at the same
together,
time?
leave them connected for 8 seconds,
Okay.
and then the pair mode is going to come up. Once you're in pair mode, you are going to go on your iPad, make sure your iLevil is on. The iLevil AP that you're going to be flying with has to be on. And we're going to go to settings on the iPad. We're going to go to Wi-Fi. I'm currently connected to my iLevil AP. So I'm going to connect to my Joy Autopilot. Okay? And the password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I think you messed up a number, so I think you did both two numbers the same.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Perfect.
And we join, and we connect to our Joy display. This is only for configuration purposes. After we connect, you have to open your browser and input here the IP address of our Joy, which is 192.168.4.1. And if we click go, it's going to open the interface, and it's going to show you here a list of available networks. So we have the iLevil autopilot and our bomb that's installed over there. So I'm going to connect to my autopilot, and you just select the network. So for your specific iLevil, it's probably going to say iLevil AP dash 2345 or whatever
the serial number,
the serial number of your iLevil. So now you can see my iLevil is connected. This the status light, it's going to turn solid whenever it's connected to an iLevil and receiving proper data.
Okay.
If it's not receiving data, it's going to be flashing green. And if it's not connected to any networks, it's going to be solid red. So that's how you know that it's working.
Perfect. I can see now that it matches mine.
So now that it's connected, we can go back. I'm going to connect to my iLevil AP, which is now connected. And I'm going to open my Levil Aviation app. And that's it. That's how you pair your Joy.
Well, that's pretty simple.
Yeah, just press these two buttons for 8 seconds and open the configuration page. Select the network of the iLevil AP, and that's it.
Now, before you give me a tour of all of the options that you can do with the heading, the altitude, and all that stuff. Now, there was a lot of thought when it comes to designing the Levil Joy. Now, it looks really nice, but it's not only looks, it has a function to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, why occupy panel space with autopilot control when you can have it here? really easy to use. That was the idea behind this product. We wanted to make it small but comfortable, so we put a leather wrapping, and it also has like a grip shape on the back, so it's really nice. The scroll wheel, we put it on the back because it's very easy to scroll with this finger, and the push to talk button, we put it on the bottom because it's the one button that you're going to be using the most, so it's a quick reach. Everything else, it's on top. We put LED lights on each button so you can see what's going on. So it's not just a control, but you can tell that right now we are activated in heading and altitude.
Yeah.
So if we, let's say if I push and disengage the altitude, this light goes off, and now you know that you're only using heading. So it's very easy to tell what's going on, even if your iPad is not, you know, if you're navigating and doing everything else, you know what's happening with your autopilot at all times. Let me turn on your altitude. Okay. 4,000.
Perfect.
Okay, so
let's go through the functions. For example, let's go to heading. How do I change a heading? How do I activate it? Is there a difference between me just holding the button once or just keep it pressed?
Yes. So you can change the heading really easy on the iPad by clicking here, and we say 181 because we don't want to deviate our course right now. In a bumpy day like this, if you don't want to be doing this, you can just simply click the heading button. It's going to start flashing, and it's going to allow to change. So I'm going to use the scroll wheel. You can see on the iPad.
Yeah, I see that it's now moving.
In real time what we're doing. So I'm going to go to 180 again.
Let's go 190.
190, okay, let's go to 190. And after 2 seconds, it's going to stop flashing.
Oh,
and the autopilot's going to say, okay, let's go to 190. You're going to see the airplane turning.
Nice.
So just one click. Flashing mode means you're allowed to change your heading, use the scroll wheel.
Okay.
The same thing for the altitude. One click, starts flashing, move the scroll wheel to whatever you want to do, and then the autopilot will climb or descend to that altitude.
Perfect.
So, pretty simple.
Let me try. So now the airplane seems like it's climbing, right? So if I want to just push, and that's going to bring it back to 4,500. Well, I'm just going to go one. There you go. And just let it go, and it's going to bring me back down to 4,500. Wow.
Yep, it's that easy. So that's for adjusting the heading and the altitude. For enabling heading and or altitude, you have to do a click and hold for, I think it's 2 seconds. So if I click and hold the heading, it's gonna disable. Or if I click and hold the heading, it's gonna enable.
Enable. I see.
Same thing for the altitude. And that's it for those two. Let's do a autopilot off for right now. And let's try and make a turn. We're gonna use the level button just to see how quickly the airplane recovers and keeps you flying at
perfect. So I'm just gonna
whatever heading you prefer.
Alright, let's do a left-hand turn. Alright. And I'm just gonna descend a little bit.
It's such a beautiful day.
It is such a beautiful day.
I don't know if you're seeing it in camera, but...
Alright, perfect. So, now let's say I want to stay there, right?
Uh-huh.
So just click level.
Level, the airplane levels out, and then you were flying at 114 degrees. So it's going to try to keep you there. And you were at more or less
4,300.
4,300, so it's going to try to...
That's nice. Now let's say I have an airplane right in front of me, and I want to move it without disengaging the autopilot. What do I do? Is that an option?
It is an option. So there is a button here on the top that the cameras can't see, but it's there, and it acts as an autopilot off button. So if I click, just quick click,
and disengages.
It disengages. This button is hardwired into your iLevil.
Okay.
So everything else, if you're doing Wi-Fi communications, all these buttons are interfaced via Wi-Fi, sending a command directly to the iLevil, and the iLevil talking to the iPad so you can see what's going on. But in case your Joy is malfunctioning or something happens and you lose a way to disconnect the little servos, you can always use this button, and because it's hardwired, it will disengage the autopilot automatically.
Alright, let's try. So if I keep it pressed, alright, I see that I disengage, so I don't have to fight the autopilot if I want to turn.
Yes. So this button, if you just click, it disengages, but if you click and hold, it will apply a level function once you release. So if you have an airplane, you have to, or an obstacle, a bird, and you need to move out of the way really quick, you can click and hold this button.
So if I release now, it's going to be like a level.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah, so it enables the autopilot again.
Okay.
To whatever altitude you were at and the current heading that you're at. So click is autopilot off. Click and hold is autopilot off temporarily until you release again, and then it automatically enables the autopilot.
Okay.
Okay, and the last function that we need is the nav. For the navigation to work, we need a valid navigation flight plan.
So where do I get this flight plan from?
Okay, so you need a compatible app like
Okay.
iFlight GPS. It's the first one to enable pilots to do a flight plan on an iPad and send this navigation to the iLevil AP to follow a flight plan.
Okay.
So we have iFly, and actually next year, or I think right now, we have 4 more applications.
We do have, so the first one was iFlight GPS, Aviator Assistant, which is a local app for us here. They're also doing the integration and calibration for over our units like the bomb. We also have Air Navigation Pro, very popular app in Europe. We have Horizon as well. It's a kind of like a new app, but also getting very popular, and it's really, really nice. They have a really nice interface. And for all of the people down south, we also have a Aussie Wrongways in Australia and New Zealand, which they also, I believe, they also have European maps, but that's something you can check on their website. But they have been doing the full integration for the autopilot.
Yeah, so it's very exciting because we had a lot of requests like, hey, I don't fly in the US, but I want to use the full autopilot capabilities. I want to be able to follow a flight plan. What can I use? So if you didn't have a Garmin EVs or something, a panel-mounted display, you couldn't use our iLevil AP to follow a flight plan outside the US. So now you can. Air Navigation Pro has global moving maps, so you can use that anywhere in the world, and hopefully we get more apps in the future that are compatible. So in this demo, we're going to use iFly GPS. I'm going to go ahead and open iFly. I am going to clear any flight plans that we have. Okay, and I'm going to choose an airport. Where would you like to go? We can go to Melbourne.
Yeah, let's go to Melbourne.
And we're going to do...
Let's go to flight planning and direct to.
Direct to. On iFly, to be able to send the waypoints to the iLevil AP, you have to make sure to go to menu, and then setup, and then this NMEA output. Send to iLevil via Wi-Fi, and at least the first option needs to be checked.
Okay.
So once you know that and you confirm that,
yes, click acknowledge. Okay, perfect.
It should be sending the waypoints, and you can verify this if we go to the Levil application app. Let me put this button here that says nav, and I can see actually it says Melbourne, so we are directing to Melbourne. You can see here also on your iPad that this nav shows up.
Yeah.
That means we have an active flight plan, and on the EFIS display, if we make this full screen, you can see this Melbourne is 53 degrees, and we are 11 nautical miles from it.
Perfect.
So once we know we have an active flight plan, on the Joy, you can just click the button nav, and it's going to activate the flight plan for us. So very easy to do. If you don't have an active flight plan, your Joy will actually vibrate. It will tell you like, I don't have an active. the same thing with the altitude. So the Joy has a little vibrator inside. If you try to enable the altitude, but you haven't set your altimeter setting, it's going to vibrate, telling you like, hey, you need to update your altimeter setting because the Levil autopilot follows the altitude based on pressure altitude.
Okay.
Based on the pedostatic system, or the static system actually. And so if you don't have altitude setting on the iPad, it will not activate the altitude feature.
Perfect. So just for some reason here, so let's change the waypoint let's go to back to Sanford.
Let's go back to Sanford. So we're gonna say enter a flight plan, KSFB.
Perfect.
Sanford. Add waypoint.
Actually, put direct to. There you go.
Direct to.
And then the airplane is going to take us there.
Okay. Close.
Now, so this is a great feature for those that do not have a, let's say I don't have an Apple device, but I do have an Android device and I want to use, but we don't have like an app for, specifically for this, for
autopilot.
For autopilot. So you can use this one without having to have our app, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Nice. So let me move this waypoint to here. Perfect. Now the autopilot should follow all of that stuff.
The nice thing about this solution, so the iLevil AP, it's not just an autopilot. The iLevil AP is a complete glass cockpit solution. As you can see here, it's providing a complete EFIS display, airspeed, altitude, compass, G-load. It gives you an ADS-B receiver as well, integrated into the same box. And you can't see the iLevil AP, it's sitting right here, but it's a little box like this big.
Okay.
That gives you everything you need for navigation. It has a WAS GPS inside. It's sort of like a black box. It's recording everything on an SD card. And it also has all the autopilot algorithms inside. It's powering the little servos. It's powering the little servos that are moving the trim tab. So it's a really lightweight solution. It's perfect for experimentals and light sport. And now that it's compatible with the Joy, you can install both simultaneously or just one on the pilot side.
Okay.
And just makes flying very easy,
very easy.
comfortable.
No, it's very easy, very comfortable. I like the ergonomic design. I like the looks. I think it's a great idea and a great addition to the panel. I mean, I'm very excited about this one because we just upgraded our panel. Everything is new. We put an iPad Pro right here where we can have our app, and then we have a navigation app on the other side. And the Joy, I believe, is a really, really nice addition to this aircraft, and I love it.
Yeah, I like it. We wanted to design a little, like an easy autopilot control, but because of situations with the iPad and touchscreen and trying to facilitate that, but it becomes the same thing on trying to control on a bumpy day in here. So the fact that it's here in your hand, you have a nice grip, and it's just very easy to reach any button that you want.
Yeah.
It just makes it very
nice.
So we show everything autopilot control, but we didn't show how to trim.
Okay.
So that's
just looking for some traffic that we have near us. Okay, so how's the trimming option?
So for the trim to work, we need to be autopilot off, because otherwise it's controlling the airplane.
Okay.
So grab the controls. I want to do autopilot off.
Perfect, my controls.
Now you can see the little LED
yes.
bar in the middle gets enabled. And basically, if using the scroll wheel on the back, if I trim up, the airplane is going to go up, and you can see the position of your trim tabs. And if I trim down, the LEDs go down.
I see that. The airplane goes down.
And that's it.
Wow, that's awesome. So whenever the Joy is off, I can trim up and down using the Joy just
correct.
with one finger.
So it's one more benefit of the iLevil AP. It's an autopilot, but it also can trim your airplane, and it just ends up flying with just using trim tabs.
Okay. Wow.
The entire system weighs less than a pound, or a pound.
Like a little bit less than a pound, yeah. So so we have everything very lightweight.
Yeah. So imagine a complete glass cockpit with autopilot capabilities for less than 1 pound.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Why wouldn't you do it on an experimental airplane?
Yeah,
Why wouldn't you have?
And nothing is tied to my control system. Everything is using really old technology actually, which is the twin tab system.
Yeah, the idea is that you can override the autopilot. So if I just do a little push, I can fly my airplane, I can avoid an obstacle, and then release, and the autopilot's gonna
take
fly
over.
you there.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's it that we have. That's all we have for the Joy right now. I'm pretty sure we have more stuff coming up soon. So stay tuned. Make sure if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We have our information on our website, which is levilaviation.com. You'll see our manuals over there too. So if you have any question, feel free to reach out to us. Or if you want to ask other pilots what they have done on their installation, go to our Levil Aviation official community page. And you can ask any questions. We also run contests sometimes, and we send out shirts, hats, and things like that. So, and we also announce where we are during the shows and anything that we have to related to Levil Aviation. And like I said, you can ask other pilots what they have done regarding installation. If they have pictures and things like that, you can check out our Facebook community page.
If you don't know how to install the iLevil AP in your specific airplanes, most likely somebody has done it before, so you can ask there and then they can guide you on how to do it, or you can see pictures. Yep.
So go ahead and do that. Also, we have Instagram, we are on Facebook, so follow, so we post stuff weekly. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and until the next one, ciao ciao.
See ya.